Hey there, everybody. Checking in here on February 12th. The Conscious Life Expo is over, but I'm still here in LA. I'll be here for a couple more days visiting some friends, and then it's back home to the Pacific Northwest, which I'm excited to be back home because I'll be able to do these updates live again, be able to do some more whiteboard stuff, and then more in-depth reporting, give it more substance because I'm not able to, spend as much time researching things while I'm on the road here. But while I am on the road, still going to be doing these videos. And in today's video, what I'm going to do is, because of all the posts that Q has dropped over the past couple days, I'm going to devote this to simply a Q analysis. And then I'm going to corroborate that with some of the media stories that I've found based on the Q posts. And tomorrow I'll do what I normally do and just kind of, go all over the place, amalgamate a bunch of stories. But today, because I've been busy over the weekend, keep it just on Q. And I'm going to begin right here on yesterday morning, February 11th, at approximately 8:50 Pacific time. Q began rattling them off, and this first one here says 71,187, and 71,187 being murder, 71 connecting to the Russia jet carrying that many people crashing after the Moscow takeoff, and all of them being murdered, essentially, saying this was a planned attack here. One of them was targeted. We'll talk about him in a few minutes here. And then Q saying that it is Dossier and U1 or Uranium-1 related. Would you believe one source was used for two? What could that possibly mean? Unfortunately, I'm not doing this live, so people can't chime in with their little tidbits of data. So I'm only doing this based upon my experience and my perspectives, of course. Everybody has their own pieces of the puzzle. Find the passenger list. Again, we'll talk about that in a minute here. Sick people. That's for sure. Now we'll go up here to this one. Do people believe all recent resignations, plane crashes, plane reroutes, emergency management system, emergency broadcast system activations are all a simple coincidence? Do you believe that? If you've been following my stuff, you know about many of the plane reroutes. I've been following that one pretty closely. Recent resignations, we've been told to follow that one, and I've seen around somebody compiling an Excel sheet of all the CEO and big resignations there is out there. I'll see if I can find that and link it below this one. I have a couple of the recent odd occurrences around airports and planes and whatnot. So just today, earlier this morning, a World War II bomb shuts down flights at a London City airport. And if you research into this story, there's airports not only in America, but around the world being shut down, and many of them for very mysterious or just weird reasons. One was a bagel. They said a bagel burnt, and that caused the fire alarm system to go off, so they had to evacuate the airport. Just a lot of weird things, And then if you follow the plane reroutes, a lot of those are just hilarious. One was crazy passengers, people biting people, one guy smearing shit everywhere in the bathrooms, just odd things. This is just a Google search of flights being rerouted. Some of these stories being because of weather. But if you go down here, let's see. I can't find it on this page. But you've seen my videos. You've seen how many of these are just getting rerouted for odd reasons and lots of planes. And then let's see here, EMS, EBS activations. So I've had a lot of people actually send me pictures and post in my Facebook group about that being activated, the emergency broadcast system on their television sets, really around the country. I've seen a lot of them in SoCal, in the LA area and whatnot. So that seems to be increasing as well, preparing us, seeding us for when some stuff does have to hit the mass, then they can activate that. We'll be at least more subconsciously prepared, if not consciously prepared, right? And then Q emphasizing here, why did sessions at the beginning say investigations or proceedings are kept confidential? Can't botch the operation, folks. Do you really believe nothing is being done? I've seen some people saying that Q is just simply making us be like dogs chasing our tail and spinning us around in circles. But if nothing was really being done, we wouldn't see all these little bits of data all begin corroborating and fitting into what's going on. So I don't feel that. I don't feel like Q is just making us run around in circles, nor do I feel like Q is hope porn or a LARP. be a real shitty LARP because it's making a lot of people activate, put in effort, change things. Be a bad LARP. So let's see this Q post here just referencing an underground massive data center saying that we already have so much more than we know. Future proves past, which always just means as the stories come out in the media, it's just proving that this Q collective, this Q group is giving us some insights, some hints that things are definitely going on. This guy, think BDT New York City attempt in Barlow. I mean, we're just to February 11th, late morning here going through these posts. So people behind Q, they seem pretty pissed off in all these. I don't blame them. You know, they're putting their lives on the line for this stuff. But think BDT NYC attempt. It's referencing the, let's see here, the New York City Port Authority bomb, false flag that happened at the beginning of December. And Barlow suggesting these could very well be connected. Barlow being this man, John Perry Barlow, the internet pioneer recently passing away, which Q also inferred that was a possible heart attack. And we do know that the Black Ops have heart attack weapons. So potential connecting dots there. And let's see. None of these other ones I really want to expound upon here. Security test. Then let's see. This is an interesting one. A very astute Anon was asking Q a question and asking what Red October refers to. And he asks, is it the fictional submarine whose torpedo homed in on itself and destroyed it? Or Red October, and talking about a cyber espionage malware discovered in 2012, end of 2012, operating worldwide for 5 years before it was found, sent info ranging from diplomatic secrets to personal information, including mobile devices. It was an advanced espionage campaign intended to target diplomatic, governmental, and scientific organizations. I didn't know about that. That is really, really interesting. That Red October is this, gives a little bit more depth to what Red October might be. Q then says future news will highlight, telling us to wait. Note the hunt for was dropped. Details matter. So the hunt for implying that Red October, I mean, it could be, when I saw this, let me just say, I just got this intuitive hit that it could be such that there's a submarine out there. Could be a rogue submarine from the CIA essentially has its own Navy, folks. There's different Black Ops programs out there where there's a lot of stuff missing. There's a lot of stuff that rogue factions have. So if it's noting the hunt for, Q is noting the hunt for here, then could there be a rogue submarine out there? Could there be some kind of rogue something that the white hats are trying to find and snuff out? Well, details essentially matter there. Then this long post. This Anon person here was discussing North Korea being a CIA black site. Who in the media right now is glorifying North Korea despite the Trump administration, and then saying it's time to take the offensive. Right? Bad psyop if it's making people take the offensive. And anyway, this Anon poster says, let's start taking names of all the journalists propagating North Korea. And I've seen this a lot on Twitter the few times I've been able to hop onto Twitter over the weekend and kind of scroll through some things. I've seen a lot of people calling out CNN, especially calling out NBC and all of them for trying to glorify North Korea and sweep the fact that it's a brutal regime under the rug. Q, again, like I said earlier, seeming to be really wanting people to get it, telling us to ask ourselves a lot of questions here. Why is North Korea participating in the Olympic Games this year? Why is the sister with Pence? Ask yourself, if controlled, how might you protect yourself and look for a way out? It's really interesting is, the sister wanting to get out of the regime there in North Korea. That's why she's been pictured with Pence, regardless of what the mainstream media is trying to report on her conniving looks over at Pence or whatnot. What if she's trying to get out? That's why Korea came together for the Olympics. I don't know, but hey, could be. And what else here? this one. Ask yourself, do we want a war? Ask yourself, who was trying to start a war? The deep state, right? It's what they profit off of. That's what they distract and divide and suck their energy from us with. Ask yourself, if a missile was launched by rogue actors, what would be the purpose? Start that war. Delay their downfall, right? Just like 9/11. Just like 9/11, you know? Let's see here. Ask yourself, what should immediately start a war if we thought we were attacked by somebody else? Ask yourself, would the public understand the following statement? Rogue actors, clowns, U.S. former heads of state, if they initiated a missile launch in order to force the U.S. into a war or conflict against whoever, they wouldn't understand that. 99.5% of people would not get that. So we need to, right, be on the offensive to help them get it, make them get it. And then this sentence right here, which, you know, kind of lays it out very well. Those who cannot understand that we cannot simply start arresting without first ensuring the safety and well-being of the population, shifting the narrative, removing those in DC through resignation to ensure success, and defeating the proxies, ISIS and the MS-13, the false flag / murder proxies, wet works proxies for intel jargon, to prevent fail-safes, freezing assets to remove network-to-network abilities, and killing off the COC, chain of command, to prevent top-down communications, organizations, etc. should not be participating in these discussions. So basically, Q is saying, if you can't get that this is such a complex situation going on, that they can't just go in and, indict them, right? If one little thing goes wrong, could unravel everything and it could all be done. And luckily, when I first, broke my brain away from fantasy land and got into the real world 4 or 5 years ago, had my own great awakening. What was good about that is I got very deep very fast. So I saw the ideas of a cabal or a new world order or Illuminati, and I saw ideas of mass arrest occurring. Now, of course, 5 years ago, it just wasn't going to happen because we're not where we're at now. But I knew with how deep I went with my researching how complicated it all was. And so I understand. That's why I have the patience to say, I understand they're not just stringing us along. We're only, 4 months into Q's posts, little over a year into a presidential administration that's finally not new world ordered. And, we're just beginning to get over the hump of getting things to where they need to be to begin the mass arrest. So again, guys, I'm kind of ranting here just because I want people to understand and, don't get their hopes down, but it's not going to be easy. Very difficult thing we're all doing. We're all playing our own part, whether you're what HN would call me, a fame fag, where I'm just trying to get this information out to the masses, whether you're a plane fag, following all the planes and helicopters, odd occurrences of like that, or whether you're digging, whether you're just simply planting seeds in your friends and family, warning them of potential events to come, or praying for all the white hats and patriots behind the scenes doing this stuff. Understand, it's complicated. It's going to take some time, but we're almost there. We're almost there. Okay, let's keep talking about some of these. This post here, discussing the Russia plane flight, saying that, I'm going to butcher this, Vyacheslav Pershikov, not bad, Pershikov, was essentially, could have been the target, number 32, him. That was the one. He was appointed as Rosatom, which is an atomic energy agency in Russia. He was appointed as the special representative for international scientific and technical projects. Very top guy there, involved in Uranium One. If he was Wetworks, assassinated, well, was it Wetworks in this instance because they took the plane down, but assassinated, right? And then we'll show this article here, that being this one, and him being appointed as into that position at Rosatom at the end of 2017 there. So yes, over the target, things are happening. So let's move up here. Q then says Ruth Bader Ginsburg, and she is the Supreme Court justice who went public talking about the Me Too movement, saying that it's here to stay. Q has something to say about that in a little bit. Timestamp, Snowden, truth to power, drop, truth to power. So that's referring to this Edward Snowden retweet, speaking truth to power on February 11th. I don't know exactly what time Edward Snowden retweeted this at. You know, from my familiarity of Twitter, I don't know how to find that or if we can find that. This time being when this original post by Raza Ahmad was posted by Rumi. But we don't know when Snowden retweeted it. But right here, Q is just saying to timestamp it. Interesting. You know, I wonder what that could be. Coincidence, truth to power, coincidence. Barlow, learn, what if Snowden was still a clown? Q, again, implying even deeper now, more directly, that Snowden could still be involved in Black Ops. Is he a white hat clown? Is he a black hat clown? Well, from just reading Q's stuff and kind of connecting some other dots, you know, how would he exactly have a Hollywood movie? It could very well still be a black hat clown. And then Q really trying to get people to learn the time stamping method of his posts. Learn! And this one right here, getting into John McCain, WDSHN ISIS traitor. Q naming the JPEG that he posted here of John McCain, or excuse me, we do not say his name, speaking with the head of ISIS. Not sure what NN might mean there, but again, note the details. We don't say his name, returning to prime time. Wonder if his so-called illness, his brain cancer, will flare up. He's not a war hero, he's a mega millionaire. And I've actually, Q posting a couple articles. I featured this one by Zero Hedge on my videos before, outing the McCain Institute as being just a terrible organization, being a total front for anti-human trafficking related things. If you've seen Ashton Kutcher testify before Congress about trafficking, a lot of people saying, oh, you know, it's hitting the mainstream, pedogate. It's not. Ashton Kutcher was fronting for the McCain Institute and just being that controlled opposition up there. You know, poor Ashton might not have even known. But John McCain surely does, that sick bastard. And McCain Institute is not spending their endowment. Zero Hedge just laying it out on them. Define money laundering, define the word traitor. A world without John McCain, excuse me, we don't say his name, is a world better off. And right here, February 11th, now we're only to mid-afternoon. United Airlines flight to Guantanamo Bay. Interesting. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm going to go to my own Twitter here because I retweeted this before I even knew Q posted about it. Ooh, interesting. Somebody, looks like McTaz, the Purge here. I was retweeting his post, noticing a flight, United Airlines, going from Washington to Guantanamo Bay in the morning yesterday. Q then posting on it. Discussing some other questions regarding it that I'm unaware of, but I would be curious to see what that is. Let's see here. And Anon posting about an experimental drug promising to kill the flu virus in a day. And I like this Q saying, what a coincidence. This board has more power and influence than anyone can comprehend. It's a good point. When we all come together, we have a lot more influence than we realize. A lot of people reference the movie A Bug's Life to show that how all the that kids movie, the big bugs came in and tried to enslave the small bugs, but all the small ones, once they rose up and understood the power of themselves together, overcame the big bugs. And I want to expound on this question right here. Q, how long will we have to wait for the cures of cancer and other sicknesses? And an honor asks. Q says, chatter amongst those in control has begun. They know we know, which means the public will know. Release prior to cover up. Public informed and collapse. Which option do you want? But here's the thing that I want to expound upon. Okay, we know there's a lot of technologies, whether it's frequency, energetic technologies in black programs that can heal diseases that aren't released to the public, but there's already so many things that's already in the public domain. You have MMS, you have the Gerson therapy, you have, of course, hemp oils, vitamin B17, food grade hydrogen peroxide. You have, just simply diet and herbs and positive intention, meditation, balancing yourself can really help yourself with cancer. I'm going to be careful with my words here, trying not to lay it all out. There's so much you can already do for yourself. We don't need to wait for these technologies in the black programs to come out to heal ourselves of these diseases. Granted, yes, it would make it immensely easier, right? And we do need it to come out. I'm still waiting for it to come out, trying to get people to understand these things, but we don't need it, okay? I just want you to understand that. Go inform yourself, put different things into practice, and you can heal yourself now. And then Q also posted, if you saw the ha 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 thing a couple days ago, next week, and up here, and Anon was saying that that could very well be referring to, hold on here. Man, there's so many of these posts to go through. Referring to human Abaddon, all the ha's. Q saying double meanings work well against sniffers. There you go. Could also be analytics programs, not just human sniffers. But I'm going to go through real quick the rest of these posts to speed this up. And Anon saying here, I hope someday patriots, vets, and Anons get the respect they deserve. We are with you. We honor your service to the great country. Without people like you, the world would be lost. Again, we're all doing our part. And right here, an Anon asking, Q, there's one more thing that concerns me, somewhat related to this, but more related to the 60-40, right? Some being disclosed, some not. The less the public knows, the more likely they are to basically just falsely assign blame in the future and not get this all cleaned up. Understand one simple fact, Q says. The U.S. is connected to the rest of the world. Knowing that, understand by default, if certain intel is released, it would cause a worldwide mass suffering. We share the idea of open source, which is great, but value life and must make decisions and base decisions on outcomes and containability. So again, it's a complicated situation. We don't want to make society dwell into chaos. We want to keep things okay while all of this is going on. Q saying here, do not read into the spelling structure error, how it says, make decisions, base decisions, yada, yada. Heavy lag and attack ongoing. That's why those security tests have to happen. See here, don't care about your sentence structure, just care to know how full Gitmo is going to be. Max cap, one other prison being prepped. Big drop there. The fact that Q brought up Ginsburg and then she landed on CNN the same day, front page speaks volumes. We are missing something. Here to stay. No, you're not. I would imagine the people connected with Q, or I should say the Q group and their connections, they have the intel that the MSM, like they're hacked into their databases per se, and they can understand what the MSM is already going to release that day or the next day. So that's why prepping us with little hints to let us know that. More corroboration. Last few posts here by Q. Discussing Mika Brzezinski. She's the reporter on, let's see, Brzezinski, Mika. She's a reporter on NBC, I believe. She's the daughter of the, how do we even say his name? Zbigniew Brzezinski. He recently passed away. So Zbigniew passed away earlier this year in May, but of course the family is very well connected. It's exactly what Q is saying here. Majority today were not born into this circle. The age of tech has hurt their ability to hide and control. Investigate those in front of the camera who scream the loudest. These people are really stupid. We need a media cleanse. Absolutely. Completely. And then up here, Q then saying, find the link, look around, look at this picture here. What does it signify? What are they sitting on? Flowers perfectly lined up. Why? Q saying also flowers and gardens. What does a flower represent? What does a deflower represent? Think children, think slaves, think sheep. And Q's going deep here. really deep with these last posts. Coincidence, the Matrix movie grew people as a crop used for energy and controlled their minds. Sound familiar? This is exactly what it is, guys. We are not only sucked for our money, but we're sucked for our energy. They want us in fear because those controlling us and literally their non-terrestrial entities associated with them, the archonic entities, they feed off of our negative energy, our negative vibrations. This is a literal fact. That's why these children are moved around and put in the rituals that they're put into. Because children, as opposed to adults, don't have the programming set in yet. So they're more connected to the divine. So when you traumatize a child, you get more of that energetic release from it. It delves into, of course, adrenochrome conversations that I don't want to have here. Do that for future videos coming up. But yeah, I mean, Q's going deep here with that idea. Coincidence that the Matrix grew people as a crop and used them for energy. It's exactly what's happening. Wonder where they derived that idea from. Now comes the conspiracy label. Deeper we go, the more unrealistic it all becomes. The end won't be for everyone. The choice to know will be yours. That is very deep, right? Here at the Conscious Life Expo, I was at Jason Quitt's lecture yesterday, if you're not familiar with him. And go check his stuff out if you're not, familiar with him. But his talk was about how we basically just have two paths. A path of disconnection, not choosing to see the truth, or find out the truth at least, and the path of ascension, when you're finding the truth of the matter, finding out that we're all connected, we're all not disconnected. So Q going very deep into esoteric subjects, very deep into dark subjects that need to be exposed, basically saying, now comes the conspiracy label, right? Deeper we go, the more unrealistic it all becomes. But hey guys, you know, I try to go as deep as I can, and it doesn't seem unrealistic to me. You know, I try to frame my mind as if I come across something that just I wouldn't even think of to be true, I'm just like, oh, okay, great. Now I see that. Now it's time to move on. Time to go into the future, just understanding that. You know, don't revel on the fact that, oh, I can't believe this. You have to keep your reality bubble permeable, as some would say, right? This world just gets crazier and crazier, but does it really? It actually kind of starts to make more sense and make more sense. Doesn't seem unrealistic. It just seems, wow, you know, all this crazy stuff I'm seeing, it actually is realistic and makes all the sense in the world, all the sense in the universe. So that's it for this one, guys. I wonder how long I've been ranting for in this video, but a lot of Q posts, a lot of stuff to talk about. We'll just kind of recap quickly here. Russia jet going down, tied in with Uranium 1. Looks like it was an attack meant to silence a guy associated with that. Things going on at airports, weird things going on with flights, still happening, still showing us that, of course, things are definitely going on behind the scenes. Let's see here. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Ginsburg saying the Me Too moment's here to stay. She just looks pretty evil, doesn't she? She looks like a reptile. Attack pose there. Edward Snowden possibly still being a clown. Again, keep your reality bubble permeable. I made a Facebook post about Edward Snowden being a clown the few weeks ago, and shocked some people. But hey, might be, might not be. Just got to roll with the punches. John McCain getting back into the news. And then, of course, a lot of media people. Brzezinski, Mika being a total shill. Watch those who scream the loudest. Flights to Gitmo. And according to Q, another prison being prepped. So that's it, guys. Thank you for tuning into this one. I'll be checking in soon. And then in a few days here, I'll be back into doing the live videos. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your support on Patreon and all you guys that are helping me out, that have been emailing me, that came here to even see me in LA. I appreciate you all. Thank you.